Hi, I'm Foxup. So today we get the full release of UNI2 and it comes with a training mode that has new features. So I'm going to go over some of these new features and how to use them. Originally this video was going to cover everything to do with training mode and it was like half an hour long, so I've trimmed it down quite a bit. There are still timestamps in the description so you can kind of skip around as you like. So let's get right into it. So the first thing we have here is our damage display. Now if you look in the right hand corner, this will show you how much the combo is prorated as it progresses. Just above that you can see how much each attack is causing proration. The lower the number, the worse the proration it causes. Next up we have frame data display. So this will show you the startup of the move. You can also see in the advantage section what the move is on block. Now startup is also included, by the way, in your assault, so you can see how fast your assault is. Battle speed used to be in mission mode, but now you can do it everywhere, which is nice for some characters. Okay, next up we have our character specifics option. This will allow installs for characters to just be activated by default, so you see just Wagner, just Eltnum, or both. This is a godsend for labbing those enhanced bullet combos. Special training is kind of a mini game where you're given this tech window and you're supposed to try and respond as fast as you can. So you can feel free to record this and show off to your friends or use it to check latency. This kind of reminds me a lot of this old Kirby game, actually. Now you can do it with throw teching, you can also do it with inputs, including random inputs, and that's pretty tricky. Something else important on this page is input lag. If you plan on playing online, 2 frames is the default, so you may want to practice on that. By the way, speaking of default settings, you have Vorpal given to you by default. But this can be a trap for new players. You see that big number there? That is after a damage bonus. Just under that is the basic damage without the Vorpal damage buff. So if you turn this off, you will only see the base damage of your combo. So you don't post your 4K route and then realize that it's only 3.4. Something else that you can do with the crit gauge is set it somewhere in the cycle and set up a scenario specifically to try and win the cycle. So like here, I'm going to use the new AB to get some extra grid. Moving on to enemy settings here, there's an important piece of advice I have for you, and that is that crouching allows for combos that standing does not. So setting to crouch might be a good idea. Also, be sure to set your dummy to guard and go through pressure on block. Very, very important. Training mode is not just for combos. Counter hit is important in this game because they have full untech until they hit the ground if they're hit in the air, just like Melty Blood. There's something very new about the shield feature in this game. Very different from the previous one. Can you guess what it is? In the previous work, every single hit would be shielded, which is kind of impossible in a real game. Not very practical. So here, we only get that first shield coming out from the first hit. You'll see here that Batista is still +4 if you only shield the first hit of Jump C, which has 3 attacks. So what do? Go to shield activation hits. A green shield will come out after the amount you specify. So after 1 green shield comes out. If you set it to 2, the green shield will come out after the second hit on block. You can also use this to stagger into grid break throw. Now, one main use of setting up dummy recordings is so that you can set up multiple dummy recordings and practice your OSing. You can record multiple situations and have them play out randomly so that you can practice inputting your option select at that same timing. The reversal actions menu may feel a little familiar at first. You can just scroll left and right to find what you want, or you can press triangle by default on a PS4 controller, and you get a big menu where you can browse through a little bit more easily. Just like recording dummy slots, if you set multiple actions, they will come out at random. You can also set your reversal actions to come out after a delay, up to 20 frames of delay. This can be used to check just how much leniency you have in certain situations. Another very important use for dummy recording is to record the dummy CSing and then doing an action. This allows you to practice round starts from that neutral situation. Now you can actually combine reversal actions and the actions that you record. So what you can do, for example, is with dummy playback set to with reversal action, they're going to chain shift frame 1, but then they're going to do what I record after. And that all happens immediately. The other thing that you use the with reversal action playback for is command normals. If I set Eltnum to reversal 5C, that's all that comes out. I don't get 5cc. But I can set the reversal action to 5C and then record mashing CC, and I'll get both. This is really important for characters that have whiff cancelable command normals that are really ignorant to deal with. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is save states. This is where you just save a state in the game that you can load fresh. So for example here, I don't want to see this entire infinite worth animation before I try to bait Veil off. So instead, I'll just make a save state of it, and I can load that up whenever I want and run it again. So that's pretty easy for your setups, but what about defending? All right, let's say I set this dummy recording to do web oki, right? Well then if I load the save state, it just keeps trying to do that recording. So what we're gonna do is set that save state where they have oki, and then make some new dummy recordings in that save state, so that you can practice your defensive options. Shoutouts to Ohito. Now, if you don't want to set all of this stuff up yourself, you can use the replay takeover function added. So you can go to your own replays, but you can also take over other players' replays. So if we go to this replay board, let's say there's a character I don't know much about, like Kuon. No one knows about Kuon yet. We can go down and see who's got some Kuon sauce. And oh look, there's Diaphone. So we'll load up that one, and we'll see if we can block some Kuon shenanigans. Now you can save replays to your profile, or you can just load straight into them. That's what we're going to do here. So let's go over these controls here. You can press X to pause or resume the match. You can press square to toggle the input history of both players off and on. Triangle to turn off this control guide. Now if you press the right direction, you will frame by frame through the replay. If you press the back direction, you'll go back by about 5 seconds in the replay. L2 and R2 change what round you are on, and R1 speeds the recording up so that you can scrub through and look for whatever situation you want to lab. Oh, and here's one. We got some flight shenanigans. So let's press start or options and go to initiate replay assist. You can take over either character. Let's take over Waldstein here. You can see you have plenty of time before the recording starts. And once you are finished taking over the replay, go to exit replay assist and you will go right back into replaying the match. Finally, there is one more training mode adjacent feature, and that is if you go to the system settings and go to startup settings, you can choose whether or not you start the game in the main menu, the training mode, or network mode. Booting up in training mode feels really good. I am fast forwarding this a little bit on PS4, so you get the idea. But here we are, right back into it. Very, very nice. So that's it. I hope this video has been helpful. As far as the algorithm stuff, like it if you want, I guess. Comment is what I would really like from you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. If you have anything important that you feel like I've missed, feel free to drop that comment too. As far as subscribing, I don't know how often I'm really going to be doing these types of videos. I think what would mean more to me than you subscribing to my channel would be joining the Uni Discord, because there are plenty of resources there. That's kind of where the community lives. So I will provide a link in the description. Thanks for watching. Enjoy UNI2.